Hi guys, and welcome again to the second video of this new and fresh channel. Today I will talk with a few details about my plan for this channel. It will be about my travel experience and exploring new places. Some of them are here in Canada where I live, but most are from my travels around the world. While I am talking about my travels, I will show some of the most beautiful pictures that I have taken from here and there. First of all, with a few videos for those who like watching pictures, I will show the most beautiful pictures that I took during all my travels. Then I will start my videos from Toronto with visits to the most exciting places in the city and nearby, like visiting Niagara Falls, Ottawa and others. After finishing all videos about Canada, I will start with videos of my international travels and the first trip to the United States, the closest country to Canada, to visit Jacksonville City in Florida, where my brother lives with his family. At that trip, I stopped for a few hours in Washington, so I enjoyed a short tour in the capital of the United States. The second trip, my amazing journey for more than 30 days to Europe, starting from Germany to visit several cities like Nuremberg, Düsseldorf, Mönchengladbach and Munich, or München as they call it in Germany. Then visiting Vienna, the capital of Austria, and then going to visit two beautiful cities in Bulgaria, Sofia and Plovdiv. Besides that, I have some short stops in other cities like Amsterdam in the Netherlands, Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, and Hanover in Germany. All that was in my first journey to Europe. My next trip was going to Egypt, one of the richest historic countries in the world. On this trip, I visited three of the biggest cities in the country: Cairo, Alexandria, and Luxor. Since my early life, I was dreaming to visit Cairo, to walk beside one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. While the next trip was the most exciting one in all my life. My first dream of traveling was to travel around the world in 80 days. Exactly like the famous novel with the same title, Around the World in 80 Days, by the French writer Jules Verne, first published in French in 1872. In my Around the World in 80 Days journey, I started from Toronto, flying from east to the west in one direction, visiting 21 cities in 12 countries on the 6 continents of the world, until I returned to the same city, Toronto, after exactly 80 days of my starting day. My first stop on the 80 days trip was San Francisco, California. My ticket from Toronto included two transits. The first one was in one of the biggest airports in the world, Los Angeles Airport, and the second stop was in San Jose. Then going to Taiwan and visiting Taipei, Taichung and Kaohsiung, and then going to Vietnam to visit Ho Chi Minh City and taking a long train trip for 15 hours to Da Nang City, when I visited my relative in Melbourne in Australia, and there for the first time I reached to Oceania. After Australia, I returned to Asia again when I booked a ticket to Thailand to visit Bangkok and Pattaya. And then I went to North Africa to Egypt for the second visit to this country to see the pyramids for the second time and visiting the National Museum in Cairo that I missed in my first trip. And my visit included also going to a small city, St. Catherine in Sinai, where there is a famous monastery and also a mount that known and as written in the Bible, where God talked to Moses and gave the 10 Commandments. Then after Egypt, I returned to Asia again to stop in Jordan for 5 days, visiting the capital Amman and Erbil city. When I was planning and choosing cities to visit for the 80 days trip, I was wondering where I go after Jordan. Then I asked myself, can a trip around the world be completed without visiting Rome? After enjoying my trip to Rome, I took a train for a nice and beautiful journey for more than 12 hours traveling to München, and then Nuremberg in Germany, where I got some rest from the trip at my sister's house. It is my second visit to this city, but still there is more to see there. While I was in Germany, I met my cousin in Mönchengladbach, and together we visited a small town, Venlo, in the Netherlands, less than 10 kilometers from the German borders.
تحياتنا للجميع إلى هولندا.
إلى هولندا. Going to Netherlands.
أمام إحدى الكنائس في هولندا في مدينة فينلو. هاي أمام.
Hi. After that, I returned to North Africa again to visit Morocco, one of the most beautiful tourist countries in Africa. Agadir and Tangier were the two cities I selected from the several tourist cities in this country. Then back to Europe to visit my favorite football team city, Barcelona, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And from there I wanted to choose one country in South America to add a new continent to my trip. Lima was the only city that I visited in this South American country, Peru. My last stop was in Jacksonville, Florida, for my second visit to the city and to meet my brother and his family there. After I attended some family celebrations and visited some of what I missed on my first visit to the city, I returned to Toronto after I completed a full turn around the world in exactly 80 days of traveling, which was the most exciting days of all my life until now. After that amazing trips around the world, I back to work again to collect more money for the next trip, which was to Europe again, to visit what I missed in my past two visits to Europe before. Berlin in Germany to see what remains of Berlin Wall, then going to Budapest in Hungary. And because it deserves to visit again, I was in Rome for the second time, besides Milan in Italy. Then in France, I visited Paris and two other French cities, Rouen and Versailles. Finally, my fourth and last journey to Europe in 2019 was a little short one because it included only 4 cities in 2 countries, London and Manchester in Great Britain, while in Greece I visited Athens and Heraklion on Crete Island. And for the first time, I traveled by ferry between 2 cities from Athens to Heraklion. I will go with the details of every single city that I have visited, trying to explain what you can see and watch in the city mostly for free by walking in the city's streets or taking the public transportation.